Well, howdy tuber. Well, I've been a-digging and a-digging and a-digging, making some room to get the B-25 here out of here. And here's a little size comparison. There's a 60-inch prop. There we go. Get to the front. So, anyway, got that out of here, and of course the nose gear is upstairs, mounted on a bench, I guess. Just because trying out the linear actuators that I got from Terry at Hummel. So once I get this out there, of course I'm using one of the chocks that I made to go on the main wheels to hold up the nose wheel. So whew, that was a workout, and I even vacuumed. Can you believe it? Oh, well, here's the vacuum. Don't do nothing for that spot. That's charcoal. My nephew Ryan's daughter fell down the stairs, was holding some bag of charcoal and fell down, and that did that. I don't know what kind of stuff would take that up. So anyway, this is where I want to take it to, what I showed you before. I just put this strip on the back for a permanent, I'll say, chalk. Of course, not too big. It's only maybe ½ inch big, so, and then some 6-inch tires. So, but I'll strap it down on here somehow more. But I think it'll be plenty sturdy, and then we can get you. Of course, I don't get many requests, of course, but I'm going to do a real good video on it to show you all the detail and stuff that I've done on it and doing on it and will do on it. So anyways, maybe I'll just make this a two-parter like the other one and just add on to it. So there you go. Okay, on with the video. Here's the nose gear with the linear actuator that I got from Terry from Hummel for this. I took this nose gear up to Bryan, Ohio, to the Hummel for when I was heading up to the Hummel gathering. And there it's down, and I guess locked. Of course, I need to make a switch to operate that, so I don't have to sit there and turn the terminals back and forth. But I made this landing gear. I made the wheel. I did not make the tire, of course. Well, I don't know. Well, anyways, I didn't make the tire. And I didn't make the Robert scissor. Now, some of these pins I did make. I know I bought some of these, and I didn't make the rivets or the bolts, but everything else I made. And of course, this, like I say, this was I'd originally made it for pneumatic. There, I went and got the air cylinder that I made. Of course, the piston and all that inside there, and the seals. Well, I didn't make the O-rings, but anyways, I made all 3 of them for each gear leg. But I'm deciding I'd rather go with these linear actuators. So that's what we're doing. So here's how many parts I made for each gear. Well, didn't make a steering fork for each gear, or steering arm for each gear. There's my parts list. And then these are the, I guess you'd say, forms or whatever that I made to press these parts. Of course, they're made out of chromoly. I don't remember, maybe 32 thousandths, something like that. Don't look like I wrote it down. I just wrote down 4130. But that's what I made to press these parts, and press that part. And then here's a jig for one of these parts to drill that. And well, I know I was making the scissors, or trying to make the scissors, and that didn't work out. Well, I mean, here's one of them, but I went ahead and machined them instead. So anyways, so here's the nose gear door. And of course I'm doing them out of aluminum, and of course I did this way before the Ultra Cruiser. So when this nose gear goes up, or it's like a P51, the inner gear doors are always closed. So when the nose gear's down and the gear closes, well, then this door opens up so that the nose gear is down. And then of course when it comes up and then closes and the nose gear's up, well, then that stays closed and goes on up. But when I went to Oshkosh in 04, I was talking to the people with the Devil Dog, the Navy version of the B-25, and I was telling him about this model, and he was telling me, he goes, do you know that nose gear on the B-25 doesn't go straight back? I said, you got my attention. Well, because what I was telling him just before I left for Oshkosh, I was trying to get the nose gear scale dimensions or whatever to work on this, and they wouldn't work. It was going to have to be gigantic or something to get it to work. So after he told me that the nose gear was offset, and I don't know if you can, well, you can see a gap right there, and I had taken this all out of there and notched this over further and notched, let's see, yeah, I don't know if you can tell over there. Well, you can kind of, well, yeah, I added a doubler back here, but I angled them over. Then the gear door dimensions work just perfect. And you can see my Heim joint here for the nose gear steering. And and of course I took the Robart giant scale gear, took it all apart and blew it up to the size I thought I needed, and then copied them on the copying machine, and like I say, blew it up the size I needed and cut out the pieces, except that, of course, I couldn't bend this, so I thought, well, this would be just as good, so I just riveted on the angle onto the side plates. So that worked. Of course, these are Zenoa G62 62cc engines with I can't remember I think it's RC ignition. So it's got, as you throttle up here, it advances your timing. And I forgot to grab the bomb doors, but I think I'm going to probably make them out of aluminum too. But here's the outer right wing gear door, and of course here's this actually ends up just being a hubcap. I'll still have to have a hose that comes out of here to simulate a brake line. And of course the left gear isn't as far along as this right gear, but you can see my side brace that I put in here because that's what the full-size one has. And I'm adding this foam on the inside to look like it does on the real one. This side hadn't been sanded down that much. And I got all kinds of Mickey Mouse stuff up here for the flaps. And for, like I said, I went up to Oshkosh in '04. And me and my dad was looking at B-25 that sets out from the museum. And the flaps were kind of down just a little bit. And I could see this here piece right here was just kind of up a little bit. And I thought, what in the world is up with that? And so I figured out that as the flaps, I pull on the right thing. Yeah, as the flaps come down, that folds up. Let's see if we get a good area on there. So as the flaps come up, that folds back down. So since I did it on the real one, I had to do it. So that was some monkey mount mixed motion on that. And here's the inner forward gear door, which doesn't close after the main gears. The main gear close after the gear goes up, but that one stays down when the gear's down. And it's got this really neat little joint right there that I copied off the full size one. And show you, even though it's dirty back here, and I don't think but you can see my simulated screws in there, and there's pinking tape on there, and this is actually aluminum that I folded over and then added glue drops on there for rivets. And I got the form in there that I used to press these little ribs in there from the back side. So this comes out just like it does on the real one. And this hole up there, I don't know what it's for, but it's on the real one. And this hole too is on the real one. And that little notch is on the real one, but I don't know what it's for. And of course this cover, of course I'd rather have some Phillips head. Well, I don't know. I have to see what the real one's got in there for that. But it's just simulated stuff. And my trim tab, and I formed this out of plastic. And, well, here you can see what the trim tab looked like before it painted. And, well, it's got you can see the raised spots in there that I put in there, but that's before. It's got the rivets on there, fake rivets on there. But you can see the fake screws underneath the pinking tape. Of course, I know it's dirty. But been dying to show people this. Had one guy many years ago was wanting to buy it. And he said, well, if I'd hold on to it for a few years, and I have. But anyways, so that's the B-25. I don't know if I'll get any comments on it or not, since it's a model. But so this will be added to the video I had before there. So there you go. God bless.